Tom Brady's ex-wife Gisele Bundchen is pregnant with baby number 3, her first with boyfriend Joachim Valenche. Gisele is 44 years old, and by the time she has the baby, she'll be 45, which is pretty miraculous within itself. If you're this kid, though, that's tough. That's really tough because you were so close to having the Brady gene. Imagine Tom Brady was your dad. You'd have the whole world would be your oyster. You'd be super athletic. You could do pretty much anything you'd want to do in the sports world. Now you have this jiu-jitsu instructor as your dad, and knowing that you were that close to Tom Brady, that's tough. It's tough. I wonder how Brady feels about this. You know, I'm sure maybe there's a little bit of jealousy involved there. Although he seems to be doing good. You know, he's working for Fox. He's getting better at being a broadcaster. But would love to know his thoughts on this. And yeah, congrats to the happy couple. Hope they're happy.
Did you see Tom Brady on Instagram? He posted a picture of a sunset and quoted Stevie Nicks lyrics. He was sad on Instagram, man.
I mean,
I get it. I get it.
I get it too.
That broke my heart seeing Tom Brady so sad. Keep in mind, he was just on Netflix. The whole world's like the jiu-jitsu instructor's banging your wife. And then this. And then this. You don't know what it's like to be down till you're posting Stevie Nicks lyrics on Instagram. Mm-hmm. All right? I would be sad too if I were Tom Brady.
What game is he calling this weekend? We got to find what's the premier game this weekend? They could do something really funny this weekend.
What?
And play landslide bumper music going into break.
My heart broke for Tom Brady. I bet you he was really sad.
I guess so.
I bet when you sit around being Tom Brady your whole life, you don't expect to just be sad and a couple days before Halloween. But then TMZ is reporting that the jiu-jitsu instructor has impregnated your ex-wife.
All right, guys. Quick coaching video. Don't know if you heard the news, but turns out that Tom Brady's ex-wife, Giselle, just broke the news that she is having her 3rd child. She is currently pregnant with, guess who? The jiu-jitsu instructor. Basically, the man that she claimed was just a friend. She told all the media outlets, all the news outlets, that nothing was going on and never cheated on Tom and was completely faithful. And the only reason why she and Tom started having problems was because he refused to retire when he was at the top of his game, when he was breaking all sorts of records, when he won, just right after he won another Super Bowl. She was saying he refused to retire, and he was not giving her enough personal attention, and this is the reason why she filed for divorce. When, you know, everyone in the red pill, especially myself, was saying otherwise. Because as I always teach you guys, right, none of these problems ever come up in your relationship, much less Tom Brady's relationship, until another guy comes along. You notice that? Like, everything's always fine in your relationship. Everything is always just perfect until the next guy comes along, right? And it's usually the guy that she's about to monkey branch to, right? The guy. This is why it's called female hypergamy, fellas, right? You guys just have to stop living in this blue pill fantasy, because it doesn't matter who you are. Your story will always end the same. And look at Tom Brady, right? He is the greatest quarterback of all time. He's rich. He's good looking. It's not like he's some fat lineman, you know, or anything like that. He's a good looking, rich, in shape guy. And it's happening to him, right? Because when you take the blue pill, you know, your life, I mean, your romantic relationships are going to play out just textbook blue pill, right? Where the woman starts to lose, you know, she might be attracted to you in the beginning, but then you start to make these noticeable mistakes throughout your relationship, right? Maybe you let her get away with like one too many things, right? You didn't check her. You didn't let her know, like, hey, do not cross my boundaries. You let her know that, hey, you're her doormat. She can walk on you. She can go out there, take a jiu-jitsu class with a good-looking dude, and you won't say anything about it. And that to me was already spelling disaster. The fact that she was able to get away with that, because most guys would not be okay with that, right? Most guys, when your woman is saying, hey, she wants to take a karate class or something, and the second you see who the instructor is, I mean, if he looks like that dude, you would be a little concerned. I don't care how good looking you think you are. You could look like Tom Brady, right? Think, nah, she's not gonna cheat. She's not gonna leave me for that dude. Well, look at what happened, right? And the thing that drives me nuts are all of the harpies, all of the post-wall, post-menopausal 304s, thoughts, bimbos, whatever you want to call them, out there defending Giselle and going, yeah, that's right. See what happens. He wasn't paying enough attention to her. She was feeling alone. She wasn't getting enough of him. Give me a break. Because again, none of that talk started until she met the new guy, right? Until she met the new guy. I mean, this woman, like any woman, would have looked for any excuse. Even if Tom was there for her and he gave her all that personal attention and, you know, and everything she's been complaining about, the fact that she met this new guy, believe me, she would have looked for something else, or she would have said, hey, you know, Tom's always here. He doesn't give me way too much attention. I feel suffocated as a woman. I don't have my space, right? I need more of my own space. Tom's always here. There would have been 1,000 excuses that she would have come up with, right? At that point, whether you're Tom Brady or you're you or you're me, right? We've all been in this situation, me included, right? Me included. All of the trouble starts when the new guy comes along, right? The guy that she's about to monkey branch to. Giselle is no different. Nothing was wrong in their 14, 15, 16-year marriage until she met the jiu-jitsu instructor. Then she started looking for all sorts of reasons to nitpick and look for excuses for why she's about to leave Tom for this jiu-jitsu instructor. And it's very pathetic, right? It's very sad behavior because it's very cowardly. Let me say that, right? It's very cowardly because I can't stand it when people don't take, you know, accountability for their actions, right? I mean, she could have just been a woman about it and said, hey, you know, I've been with Tom for 14, 15 years and I've met this guy and I think I'm attracted to him. And I think, you know, I think me and Tom's marriage has run its course and I think I need to explore this, you know, and I'm sorry if I come off as a terrible person. You know, she could have said that, but she's not going to say that, right? Because it'll make her look bad. Because then she'll have to, you know, basically face the wrath of the public, right? But instead of her taking accountability for her poor decisions, she projects that onto Tom. And now Tom has to take accountability for her poor decisions. I mean, the fact that, it's not like Tom ran off with some model or anything like that. No, it's her. She's the one who did this. She's the one who ran off with the jiu-jitsu instructor. She's the one who cheated on him. She's the one who went to Costa Rica with this guy. She's the one who is now impregnated by this guy and is about to have his child. And yet, who's the bad guy in all this? Is it Giselle? No, it's Tom. Tom's the bad guy. You cannot make this up. But this is what happens when you get involved with the narcissist, guys. This is what happens when you're still blue pill. Okay? This is what happens when you don't educate yourself with the red pill. And this is why I'm making this friggin' coaching video at night after I just come from my bang chase over here. And I felt the need to do this because the news just broke, right? It's very, very important you guys learn these lessons because I don't want it to happen to you. And if it can happen to Tom Brady, believe me, man, it can happen to you too. Okay? And the thing that just really makes me sad is the number of women out there, the amount of women out there who are supporting Giselle. It's so true. The sisterhood is strong, right? When it comes to bad behavior, the sisterhood is strong because they want to be able to get away with it when they do it, right? But the fact that so many of these women out there, I would say overwhelmingly most of the women who have dropped comments about this, making Tom out to be the bad guy, are defending Giselle, saying she never cheated. No, stop it, all you stupid men. She didn't cheat, right? She wasn't cheating. It was already over. It's like, no, she was cheating from the get-go because A, she chose this guy. B, the fact that, like, I mean, you have to be absolutely delusional or just super naive to think that, okay, the moment that, I divorced Tom is when I, you know, like the following day after I filed a divorce, I started having feelings for Joaquin, my jiu-jitsu instructor. No, that started very early on, especially, again, a sport like jiu-jitsu. In case you guys aren't familiar with it, you guys who aren't into martial arts, jiu-jitsu, it's like grappling, right? You're constantly hugging each other, rolling around on the ground with each other, touching each other, feeling on each other. Of course something is going to develop, right? Of course, right? And you're talking about a post-wall woman, she's like 40 something years old, and this guy is what, 10, 15 years younger. Of course something's going to happen. And this guy's a fool if he doesn't think she'll do the same to him one day, right? The only difference is it's not going to get as much publicity as the story is with Tom Brady, right? It's just not, And the sad thing, the thing that really, really makes me lose respect for Tom, not on the field, obviously he's the GOAT, but when it comes to dating and relationships, is the fact that he, instead of walking away from this relationship with some dignity, with some pride, what does he do? He drops this cryptic message on his freaking Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Landslide by Stevie Nicks. It's a sad song, right? It's like, dude, you just got your ass handed to you by your ex-wife, who has taken full advantage of your poor emotional, your weak emotional state. And instead of walking away with some dignity, like I said, some pride, some self-respect, right? Maybe drop a Bon Jovi song or something like, you give love a bad name, shock to the heart, doing something like that, right? No, he walks away with his head down like, oh my gosh, she's having a baby with this guy. He's crushed, right? And I get it, because he's been married to her for a long, long time. I get it. It's understandable. However, that is what the blue pill does to you. It makes you weak. It makes you pathetic. It makes women not respect you, even if you are Tom Brady, the GOAT. Because again, right, it doesn't matter if he spent more time with her, like she was complaining about, if he gave her all the attention in the world. No. Once this guy came into her life, that became the excuse, right? But just as a cautionary tale for you guys, like, you might think, like, how did Tom even get in this situation? It's because, again, throughout your relationship, you just make these little beta mistakes in your relationship where you let your girl get away with bad behavior one too many times. You fail to check her on it. You fail to establish your boundaries. And then she starts to walk on you, because these women, this is why we say in, pickup artistry, you can never stop gaming your wife, right? You can never stop being the same badass dude that you were when she met you. You have to, you cannot break character, basically. That's why I implore you guys, you have to become this guy. You have to be this guy. Otherwise, you're putting on an act, and she's bound to see cracks in the dam, right? So you have to become this guy. And I've been through this a number of times, with the relationships I had in the past where, I couldn't hold on to the girl, but I was great at pickup. And it wasn't until after the ex from 2006 that really did a number on me, like Giselle style, that I said, never again, never again. And you know what? Never again, never happened again. Haven't been dumped since. Nobody's dumped me since. I've had girls threaten to dump me, like the chick that I dated for over 4 years. I remember year one, we were barely like 6 months into it, and she said, I don't like the fact that you go out and pick up women. I don't like the fact that this is your business, and I don't like the fact that you teach guys this stuff, and we need to do something if we're gonna last. And I just said, this is who you met, this is who I am, this is what you got involved with. I'm not changing. If you don't like it, there's a door, right? I like you, I want you to stay, I want to keep doing this with you, but I ain't changing. I stuck to my ground. And you know what? She didn't leave. 3-4 years later, it wasn't even a discussion anymore, because she knew he's not gonna change. And just by holding your ground sometimes like that, that's enough, right? Because women constantly need something to chase, right? I tell you guys, they need to constantly chase some sort of validation, right? They need something to chase over and over and over. And I've taught you guys in my programs, get into 7 Months to Mastery. Click that link below so you don't end up like Tom Brady. I teach you in my program Mastery that so long as you withhold that validation from the girl, she will chase that forever and ever and ever and ever. And you know how I know? Because I've time tested it now on every single girlfriend, every single person I've dated since 2006. And it's worked over and over and over, flawlessly, to the point where I have a perfect record. It's like not throwing an interception for the last 18 years, right? I kid you not. And if I just behaved this way with my ex from 2006, she would still be here too. It was like, same thing. And your exes, and Tom Brady's ex, Giselle, she wouldn't be running off with this jiu-jitsu instructor. She wouldn't even have tried to sign up with that class, in that class with that guy, right? There's no way, because she would know, like, I can't do this to Tom, man. He'll find out. I respect him too much. He's no dummy. But the fact that she did already shows she was lacking respect for him, So a lot of these things that happen in the relationship happen early on, guys. This is why you got to nip it in the bud early. Otherwise, you end up like Tom here, who is, a 6 foot plus, good looking dude, has all the money in the world, and a lot of guys used to say, hey, Em, how have you gotten away with dating so many beautiful women, not being 6 feet tall and, not looking like Tom Brady, whatever. And I say, you know what? It's all the way you carry yourself, man, in those relationships, right? It's all, even in the cold approach itself, right? It's all in the way you respect yourself, and so yeah, let this be a cautionary tale, guys, for all of you dudes out there who still have blue pill tendencies and have not completed your training with the 33 secrets. This is why you have to pay attention to my videos. This is why you have to watch, right? Because I don't want this to happen to you. It's really a great thing, by the way, to date women. I don't consider myself, I mean, how they have these MGTOW guys that never date women. I mean, in some ways I consider myself MGTOW. I do whatever I want. I don't let women rule my decision making. They're not priority in my life anymore. Even my dogs are more priority than my girlfriends, where, it was backwards back in the day when I was getting my ass handed to me like Tom Brady. But once you prioritize yourself and you realize that you can't make women happy, you have to make yourself happy, and then they derive happiness vicariously through you, you won't end up like Tom here, but he kind of just did things so, he just made so many errors in that relationship. And the funny thing is, she's not even, I know she's a supermodel, but I don't find her attractive whatsoever. I mean, if I saw her, even her younger self, walking down the street, I would not be attracted to her. I mean, I think there are even threads where people are like, yeah, she's not really attractive. Like, why is he so hung up on her? But he is, and this is how the story ends when you're blue pill. I mean, it just played out textbook blue pill. All the way to the very end, starting with her hypergamy, right? Starting with her hypergamy. Was she hypergamous beforehand, before all this started? Probably. A lot of women have this gene inside of them, right? That's why it's called female hypergamy. It's just built into their DNA. Some are obviously more severe than others as far as their hypergamy levels go. However, I don't believe she would have ever divorced him. She would have ever left him if she felt that she was with a guy who had a backbone, who stands his ground, who respects himself, and lets her know that at the same time, right? I don't think he let her know enough who he is. Even though he's Tom Brady the GOAT, right? I think she needed to see it and hear it from him, because the whole world was talking about, basically probably telling her, and she's reading about it in the papers and seeing it on the news, that, hey, your husband's the GOAT, right? He's the greatest of all time, and he's a great looking guy, and he's 6 feet tall, and blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, even though everyone else is saying that, he wasn't acting like that at home. And you know what? He should have. You know, he should have acted like that at home as well, because then there's this incongruence, right? What have I told you guys about incongruence in women? It's like when they sense there's an incongruency in you, like, hey, you were this badass guy when I met you, but now you're this simping beta male. Incongruence, not good, not good, right? There has to be a congruence. You have to be the same badass dude that she met throughout your relationship, right? That never ends. And she will test you. She will test you, right? Every single girl I've had, no matter how much they believe it, they've tested me, right? Even the chick I was with for 4 years, the last one, she continued to test me, and I continued to let her know the boundary is still there. And then she tested less and less and less once she realized, like, okay, this is a waste of time, because he is who he is. He's not going to change. He's not going to stop running these pickup artist boot camps because of me. But I mean, I told her, I said, I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to go sleep around with these women that we take, you know, that we pick up in the clubs. I'm going to do my job, help the student, and go home. And I did that, right? I mean, I did that for the most part. I mean, I did that. So I stuck to my word. You know, that's why there's no bad feelings right now. And she's like, hey, you know, I think I have nothing but good things to say about you, Matt. You're a really great guy, and probably the best boyfriend I've ever had, and all this. Am I really the best boyfriend she ever had? No, there were probably guys that treated her better, or bought her gifts, or, you know, paid more attention to her. It's just that in her eyes, I'm the best boyfriend because I stood my ground. I had a backbone. I didn't let her walk on me. I didn't just disrespect her. I didn't go out of my way to disrespect her, but I also didn't go out of my way to disrespect myself. Kind of like what Tom's doing right now, especially posting that song. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, man. And if he's thinking that she's going to have any sympathy for him, because that's a total blue pill move right there, is posting that song, thinking the girl will have, your ex will have sympathy for you and come back or send you some message like, oh, I still love you. No, 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 no. She's not, because now you're just confirming her decision. You're just confirming what she thought in her head, that you were this spineless jellyfish of a weak man. You're just confirming it. That's the last thing you want to do. This is why I tell you guys, the number one best thing you can do if your girlfriend's about to leave is pull the rug out from underneath her and dump her before she dumps you. You know, I give a lot of harsh lessons on my channel. But I do that for a reason. It's called tough love, right? If you're looking for the politically correct dating advice, you might want to subscribe to a female dating coach's channel or something, because I'm just going to tell it like how it is, right? I'm going to tell it how it is, because I want you to be safe. I want you to be protected. I want you to protect yourself, because it's going to be 1,000 times harder for you to get out there and replace your ex-girlfriend than it is for her to replace you, even if you look better than her, right? Even if you look better than her. I mean, if I had to do a competition with like a chick who's a 6 and who's overweight on who could get laid before the night's over, she would win. You know, even with all my mastery pickup artist skills, I can't guarantee that I could beat her, right? Why? Because she's female. All she has to do is walk in a bar. She's even semi-cute. A lot of guys will go home with her. Not the same for a guy, right? I have to work game. I have to be in the right place at the right time. I have to see the right target. I have to say the right things. And things just, the stars have to align to a certain degree. Right? I'm able to do it pretty consistently, but it doesn't happen like, you know, as quickly as a girl can make it happen, right? It doesn't happen every night. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about Giselle, now impregnated by the jiu-jitsu instructor, same guy she claimed was just a friend of hers. You say he's just a friend. You say he's just a friend. What do you think about this? What did I tell you? I've been saying it all along. You know, as soon as the story broke that she was getting upset with Tom because he's not spending enough time, he won't retire from the NFL, and all these women out, even Candace Owens, who I really respect, I was shocked she couldn't even see through her little charade here, her little hustle. Or maybe she didn't want to, because she's a woman too, and they defend the sisterhood. She's like, no, look, Tom, see, you messed up, Tom. You didn't retire. That's why she left. That's why, you know, she left you in shambles. No. She left him in shambles because she met the jiu-jitsu instructor. And the reason she met the jiu-jitsu instructor is because, again, he was displaying these these signs of weakness throughout their relationship, that she felt she could get away with this. And guess what? She did. So drop your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think. And I got to get out of here, man. It's cold. All right. Till next time.